So this is John Neville and Barbara Jefford, right? Here's Gone with the Wind, where they have Vidalia onions. They want to regulate for all this money. Start civil war, right? Get Lincoln killed in a civil war about black people. You want to blame me for this stuff, but let's see. John Schulz, they have a store. And they regulate their Vidalia onions and hex and curse their cheese, right? So they want to start a civil war, like Vidalia onions, right? They had all some money regulating their vegetables. They're sweet onions. You're sweet. They had a secret. Yeah, they had a secret. You're sweet. I'll bet the other boys will be hopping mad. Let them be bad, said Brent. We had to handle him. Look, Scarlet, sit with us at the barbecue in the morning. What? Stu repeated his request, of course. Twins looked at each other jubilantly, but some surprise. They considered themselves Scarlet's favorite suitors. They had never before gained tokens of his favor so easily. Usually she made them beg and plead while she put them off, refusing to give a yes or no answer, laughing if they sulked, growing cool if they became angry. And here she would practically promise them the whole tomorrow. Seats by her at the barbecue, all the waltzes, and they'd see that the dances were all waltzes. The upper tuition. This was worth getting expelled from the university. Filled with new enthusiasm by their success, they lingered on, talking about the barbecue ball. Ashley Wilkes and Melanie Hamilton interrupted each other, making jokes and laughing at them, hinting broadly for invitations to supper. Some time had passed before they realized that Scarlet was having very little to say. The atmosphere had somehow changed, just how the twins did not know. But the fine glow had gone out over the afternoon. Scarlet seemed to pay little attention to what they said, though she made the correct answers. Sensing something they could not understand, baffled and annoyed by it, the twins struggled along for a while. They rose reluctantly, looking at their watches. Sun was low across the new plowed fields, and the tall woods across the river were looming blackly in silhouette. Chimney swallows were darting swiftly across the yard. Chickens, ducks, and turkeys were waddling and strutting, straggling in from the fields. Stuart bellowed, "Jeems!" After an interval, a tall black boy of their own age ran breathlessly around the house and out toward the tethered horses. James was their body servant, like the dogs, accompanied them everywhere. Had been their childhood playmate and had given to the twins for all their own on their 10th birthday. Sight of him, the Tarleton hounds rose upon the red dust, stood waiting expectantly for their masters. The boys bowed, shook hands, and told Scarlet they'd be over at the Wilkes' early in the morning and waiting for her. Then they were off down the walk at a rush, mounted their horses, and, followed by James, went down the avenue of cedars at a gallop, waving their hats and yelling back at her. They had rounded the curve of the dusty road. Hid them from Tara. Brent drew his horse to a stop after a clump of dogwoods. Stuart halted too, and the darky boy pulled for a few paces behind them. The horses, feeling slack reins, stretched down their necks to crop the tender spring grass. The patient hounds lay down again in the soft red dust, looked up longingly at the chimney swallows circling the gathering dusk. Brent's wise, ingenious face was puzzled and mightily indignant. "Look," he said, "don't it look to you like she would have asked to stay for supper?" "I thought she would," said Stuart. "I kept waiting for her to do it." "But she didn't. What do you make of it?" I didn't make anything of it, but it just looks like she might have. After all, our first day home, she seemed quite in a spell, and we had lots more things to tell her. It looked to me like she was mighty glad to see us where we came. I thought so too. Then about half hour ago, she got quiet like she had a headache. I noticed, but I didn't pay any mind. What do you suppose ailed her? I don't know. Do you suppose we had something that made her mad? They both thought for a minute. I can't think of anything besides when Scarlet gets mad. Everybody knows it. She don't hold herself in like some girls do. Yes, that's what I like about her. She don't go about being cold and hateful when she's mad. Tells you about it. But it was something we did or said that made her shut up, talking her sort of sick. I could swear she was glad to see us where we came and was aiming to ask us to supper. Don't suppose it's because we got expelled. Hell no, don't be a fool. She laughed like everything when we told her about it. And besides, Scarlet don't set any more store by book learning than we do. Brent turned the saddle and called a Negro groom. Playmates, for she could ride horses, climb trees almost as well as they. But now, as their amazement, she had become a grown-up young lady, and quite the most charming one in the world. Notice this time how green her eyes danced, how deep her dimples were when she laughed. Tiny her hands and feet were what small waist she had. Clever remarks sent her into merry peals of laughter. Inspired the thought that she considered their remarkable pair fairly outdid themselves. It's a memorable day in the life of the twins. Thereafter, when they talked it over, they always wondered just why they had failed to notice Scarlet's charms before. They never arrived at the correct answer, which was that Scarlet, on the day they decided to make them notice, she was constitutionally unable to endure any man being in love with any woman, not herself, and the sight of India Wilkes and Stuart speaking had been too much for her predatory nature. Not content with Stuart alone, she had her cap for Brent as well. It was the thirdest that overwhelmed two of them. Now they were both in love with her, and India Wilkes and Letty Monroe. From Lovejoy, who Brent had been so half-heartedly courting, for in the back of their minds, what the loser would do. Should Scarlet accept either one of them, twins did not ask. They crossed that bridge when they came to it. For the present they were quite satisfied to be a court again. By one girl, for they had no jealousies between them. Situation which interested the neighbors and annoyed their mother, who had no liking for Scarlet. Serve you right, that sly piece does not accept one of you, she said. Maybe she'll accept both of you, and they don't have to move to Utah if the Mormons will have you. I doubt.